Welcome to the Ice Turner experience. It's something you can't define, but you can only experience this through me. Speaking of which you can only experience through me is the actual lifestyle of a Mac, Just so happen to be, an all true man doing this. And I'm sure if you have any sense, right? There's a lot of foolishness taking surface, a lot of confusion, Definitely put blame on the media, television, as well as the music, As far as with, social archetypes, in regards to the game and what it actually is, given to you by, the nonsensical, to say the least, or the uninitiated ones, more importantly. I mean, like for example, you got guys saying that females, aren't loyal, and you calling them bitches and say that they're for the streets, right? See, my thing is, like, how do you call a square broad, everything but a child of God, But because, she may act unruly or sleep around, does it actually make her a hoe? You know what I mean? No. See, a hoe actually gets compensated for rendering either sexual or, conversational services, okay? Or company, more importantly. Just to make that clear. Another thing, they say that they're for the streets, right? And they're not loyal, but, my question is, when you really think about it, what are they actually supposed to be loyal to? Is a female supposed to be loyal to a male who complains and, doesn't take responsibility for himself and his own life and is, unaccountable for everything and, always claims plausible deniability, not even looking at the error of his own ways. Is she supposed to be loyal to a guy who can't be loyal to what he presented and, the conversations that they agreed to? Is she supposed to cater to and submit, to someone who is weaker than her? See, this is just some of the idiocy, of what I've, witnessed. And I'm sure you've seen it. And maybe even, some of you have participated in that matter. Now, as I said before, don't get me wrong. There are, females that are out of pocket, but they're not really in the game, You don't really need game for a square broad. As I said before, you just have to know how to be a leader. You have to know how to be responsible. You have to know how to hold a conversation. You should know what you're talking about. You should know what you want. It's really that simple. A man knows what he wants and knows how to get it. That's not game. It's not strategy. I don't need a strategy to actually just get what I want. I just get what I want. I don't know. It is what it is, You always have niggas, using words and they don't even understand, what they mean. More importantly, doesn't even know what he's talking about. This is the reason why there's a lot of confusion and chaos. You know, now just from the square standpoint, you know, most guys won't admit that they like toxic women and that they're toxic. You know, I mean, it's one thing for a woman to, you know, be a little bit, you know, chaotic and, you know, kind of all over the place and, you know, loving drama, you know, but, you know, what's was actually more becoming, or let's say unbecoming, you know, is a guy that, you know, is exhibiting that same type of behavior, or even worse, you know. But then, you know, at the same time, these are the same guys professing to know the game, or no game. You know, as I said before, the game really comes from the streets only, you know. And what's in the streets, or what's on the concrete, you know, there's different, you know, social archetypes. There's different guys, and, you know, as I said before, and brother Ray J said before, you know, the hierarchy, right? You know, at the top, you know, is the boss player, the Mac, you know. Then it's the pimp. Then it's the player. Then it's the lame, you know, the average Joe, pretty much. And guys got to understand what these roles, you know, play upon. We all know what the average Joe is, right? What they say as far as being, you know, the simp, you know, the guy that's the pussy pander, you know, the guy that's, you know, catering, you know, to women, emotional, you know, whims. Pretty much, you know, the player is actually playing into the conversation of their whims, playing into their emotions, you know, to basically, you know, to bed them and to receive gifts. You know, the pimp is pretty much, you know, managing women. It's kind of like say a broker to some extent, and a therapist. You know, a Mac is more of, I would say, the umbrella. You know, he pretty much, you know, has women run his companies for him, or he's consulting, pretty much, and receives compensation for that, because he's essentially all the above. He's a hustler. He's an entrepreneur. He's an investor. He's a therapist. You know, he's a pimp. Blair. You know, he is at the top of the top. You know, for us, it's really about, you know, dominion. You know, as well as you know, our bottom line. You know, and part of having dominion is the bottom line. You know, financial freedom, time freedom. That's what it's, you know. And so I'm gonna get a little bit further into, you know, just the breakdown of it, because it's just, you got people spewing out certain things, you know. It is what it is. I mean, the thing is, you know, chaos and confusion is necessary. You know, that's why, you know, we're actually, you know, in the shadows of everything. You know, the reason why we're able to kind of keep an operation going, because it's a matter of sophistication. You know, you won't find a man more sophisticated, more, I would say, developed than an actual Mac. You know, I mean, it's really that simple.